Hi, I'm just seeing if you can see and hear me. My name is Kirsten Lovett, and I'm so thrilled to be here today uh, in the Witchy Mystic Circle for Women's Empowerment and Spiritual Healing, also known as the Witchy Mystic Circle. Um, my name's Kirsten Lovett. I'm a shamanic coach, tarot reader, empath. Let me know if you are here, if you can see and hear me. I may not be able to know what your name is because of StreamYard. It just says user. So if you want to tell me what your name is or where you're watching from, that would be great. What we're going to do is a meditation first in just a second. And then I'll go ahead and take your questions for a tarot reading. If you want to start thinking about what you want to ask now, while we're getting set up here. Hi, Fiona. Oh, from the UK. Wow. Thank you. That's wonderful. I guess it's about 5 o'clock there, maybe, I think your time. That's super. I'm in Florida, so I'm on the, Eastern Standard Time. So I think it's like a 5-hour difference, but 5 or 6, I can't remember. So yeah, all right. So I'm going to put this down for a second here. Before we actually start with the meditation, I hope everyone's doing well. It's a very turbulent time, isn't it? But the good news is it's also a really wonderful time for the veils to be thin. And so we can, at this time of year in October, it's a little bit more conducive to us to engage with the ancestral helping spirits, if that's something that you're interested in, or engage with maybe a plant spirit or animal spirit or stone spirit. Yes, and it's cold. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet you it is cold. Oh, hi, Merissa. So great. Okay, cool. Yeah, tell me when you come in. I can see Merissa because I think if you're an admin in this group, I'll see your name, but that leaves pretty much everybody out except for the handful of admins we have. So that's why I won't see your name. It'll just say user. So just tell me your name and where you're from, if you like. Be thinking of your question. Okay, so before the meditation starts, I'm going to call in a little bit of support. How I receive information is through clairaudience and clairsentience. And so, for example, sometimes I'll have in my head a plan of what I'm going to do, maybe like an outline, like I just told you. We'd go ahead and start with the meditation first before I get your questions. And as I was rattling just now, I got a message saying, pick up the camera and show everybody the candles. So I want to do something impromptu here and show you I'll just take me a second here. Let's see if I can do this without turning everything over. Okay. So check this out. I don't know. Can you see the candles? There's a lot of candles burning right now. I don't know if you can see that there was a bunch of plates there. I don't know if you could see the flames at all. It probably would have been easier on a mobile device to show you that. But a lot of those candles, before we get started, represent various Nordic deities. And without going into great detail about what that means, wanted to kind of, because sometimes I forget to talk about that, to talk about Nordic animism, which is something I've just started studying in the last, I'd say 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And the study of it is kind of a mixture of what we're lucky to have, which is actual, texts, which can give us some kind of clues as to ritual behavior, which is fabulous, because there isn't a whole lot of that in other Northern European traditions, because a lot of it was oral. But then there's also the practices like, Sather and various things like that you learn about, like Galdralog and stuff like that. So again, I didn't even know I was going to talk about that, but for some reason I wanted to let you know that some of these candles represent deities like Freya. You've heard of Freya and you've heard of Odin. And so like today, for example, I knew I wanted them to be here and to help me to say what it was that I needed to, to communicate, because that's sort of how I roll right now, at least. I work with spirits to not just shamanically be kind of a medium, but I also do ritual. And I think that helps kind of extenuate and amplify the relationships you have with spirit. And people who are interested in Wicca and witchcraft, that's essentially what they're doing, is ritual and, strengthening those bonds with whatever, whether they're called a deity or a helping spirit or whatever the terminology is. The language is different. So candles are really great because they can be kind of utilized for a lot of different energies. Oh, good. So you can see them. And yes, you got loads and I got loads of candles. Oh, that's wonderful. Let me make sure the comments, sometimes the comments like cut off. So, okay. So let's get in a space. If you're listening to this while you're driving, don't participate right now. Wait until you get home or to a place that's stationary and you're not, operating a vehicle. But if you are in a place where you can kind of just center, okay. And let's just take a few deep breaths. In and out. And don't be surprised, I may start rattling a little bit. Keep breathing in and out. And where we're going to go to today is a long road in the middle of a forest with extremely tall trees. These trees reach so far up into the sky, you can barely see the top. And so we're walking amidst these trees down a pathway. And our goal today is to approach a labyrinth. So we're walking down this road and we know that there's a path to this labyrinth that connects from the road we're on. So we see a little side road, and we take a right and go down this side road. And there we see the entrance. There's a beautiful trellis archway with all sorts of vines and plants and flowers draped over this archway. And this is our entrance. So we go through the entrance, and there it is, a beautiful sacred grove, and it's shaped. The hedges are green and just gorgeous, and they're all shaped, these different hedges, in the shape of what you would imagine a labyrinth, like a maze. But with our ultimate goal to go through this labyrinth to get to the center of the labyrinth. So we're out on the outside of this labyrinth, and we take a left because we're going to go in a clockwise direction. So we start walking amidst the outside of the labyrinth, the outer circle, the outer realm, amidst these beautiful green shrubs and plants and little trees and little flowers. So keep walking clockwise around. And as we walk around in a clockwise motion, the curve is getting tighter and more succinct. And keep going clockwise, and maybe you might hear a bird in the distance, or the rustling of the breeze, and the smell of beautiful flowers and lilacs and honeysuckle. Or maybe there's kind of a cinnamon cedar smell. So you keep going clockwise into the closer and closer and closer to the center. We're almost to the center of this labyrinth. And when we get to the center, which is really, really soon, I'll briefly stop rattling. So now we're in the center. And let's take 9 deep breaths in and out and receive from Source. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Breathe out. Breathe 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 in. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe in and breathe out. So we're in the center. And before we leave, we thank the spirits of this sacred place, the plant spirits, the animal spirits, the stone spirits, the earth, wind, fire, water, ether. And the well ancestors, both of the land and of our own background, and the ancestors that maybe visited this place. And we receive a blessing. And then we give an offering to all of these spirits and say thank you. And now we'll start to begin to leave the inside of this circle, the inside of the labyrinth. And as we leave, we will start walking counterclockwise. So we leave and go to our left. And slowly take our initial steps out from the center, moving counterclockwise. And maybe the smells seem a little bit more fragrant than before, and the peace of this grove seems a little easier to experience. And the bushes and the plants and the birds, maybe they seem a little bit more friendly and like they're part of the family. And we keep working outside of this labyrinth, going around in a circular fashion, counterclockwise, till we get to the outer edges. And now we're going around the outermost edge. And we can see the exit, that beautiful trellis, the archway with all the lovely vines and plants that greeted us when we came in. And then we go through the archway. And as we go through the archway, we say thank you. And we hope to come back again someday soon. And we head up the road. that leads us to that main walkway with those very, very, very tall trees. And that will lead us back to everyday 3D present time. And now, keeping your eyes closed just for a moment, rub your hands together. And put your hands anywhere on your body, hand on the heart, the belly, and then maybe put them on your knees. You might feel a little bit of heat going through. If you don't, that's fine too. But that's going into the earth. And maybe slowly open your eyes now. And if you still feel a little bit, like you need to be a little more inside your body, if you have some kind of, I don't have it with me here. Well, yes, I do. Some kind of, moon water, or if you have Florida water, Lagua de Florida, you spray a little bit. And then you can put that on your energy centers. That might help a little bit. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is, I hope you enjoyed that, and takes a few minutes to kind of get back into tech world here. But I just want to show you some of the decks I have. If you want to ask me a question, I basically have I have 2 tarot decks and I have 2 oracle decks. And the one I've been using the most lately, but I encourage you, if you want to ask me any question, using any kind of deck that I have here. I could feel the heat, very chilled. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, I see a little fox emoji. I like that. It's funny. I've been thinking about the fox a lot lately. I'm glad you put that emoji on there. That puts him back on my radar. Oh, you're welcome. I was alone, so I was able to actually work in a spiral while you were guiding us. Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'm glad. It's funny. When I started this, I thought, okay, we're just going to do a meditation. I'm not going to rattle. And then things change, in the moment, when that's just how, if they tell me to change something, I change it, So I thought, okay, I'll rattle. I'll do the meditation. It's kind of like a quasi journey, but a little meta journey, maybe meditation journey. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm so glad it helped. This is the Voyager Tarot deck. So this is a really cool deck. And that's like, if you have a tarot type question, I have that here. I have the Spirit of the Wheel meditation deck, which is basically like an oracle deck, but it's centered around like, it's made by a Native American person, and she's using that kind of cosmology in this deck. So I use this deck for like animal spirit guidance, but it can be guidance for anything. Oh, yes, please. If you ask me a question, just because I can't see your name, just say, this is so-and-so, if you don't mind. I do see, can we look at my work feeling very unsettled? I'll be happy to do that first. Just let me know what your name is too. That would help. So I also have, and if you have a preference of which deck, I have Goddess Guidance Oracle cards too. And then I have a illuminated tarot, your basic Rider-Waite, but it's it looks a little bit different, but it's still Rider-Waite. Okay, Fiona, your question is looking at your work situation. And do you have a preference for which deck you'd like? So either Spirit of the Wheel, Voyager Tarot, Rider-Waite, or Goddess Guidance? Oracle ones? Okay. So which one would you like? I can do one of each if you like. Or doesn't matter. All right. Well, let me go ahead and I'll just do, for Fiona, I'll just do one with the Spirit of the Wheel first. And if you decide you want a Goddess one, you can let me know. Sometimes the sometimes the wild card gets stuck in there, and there it is. I don't want to give you a wild card. You know, they give you an extra card in the deck, you know. I always forget to take that out. Okay. All right, so this is for Fiona. Okay. Fiona's work situation. Fiona's work situation. Okay. Okay. Okay, right off the bat, I'd say, well, you have a horse here. You have a lot of horses here. So I don't know if you have an affinity for horses, but this is, let me see if I can make that clear. Okay, there we go. This says purity, spirit path of the north, inner child, innocence, freedom. And I'm going to give you what her, she has like an affirmation for each card. Linda Ewashina, the creator of this deck. And I find those very helpful because they usually go along with creator. But I'd say you're in transition right now with this job. This is the medium aspect of my reading. I'd say for you, I'd keep your eyes out for something else. Because this is, something's changing at work. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I can tell this from your question, you know, it's kind of unsettling to you. I don't know if there's some kind of merger or restructuring or which, you know, kind of, there's a lot of that going on right now. But I'd say, I mean, I don't think it's something you have to step on like right now, like, and get it done, like, you know, at ASAP. I think it's just keep your eyes out on the lookout for other positions that you find more. I think you're looking for peace, like a little more peace at work, and because of maybe various things that are happening in your life, or maybe the workplace is, you know, just really chaotic right now. I'm ready for a new job, restricting too many bosses. Yeah, too many bosses. Yeah. I'm that makes sense. Okay, because that's what I was picking up, like kind of like a little too much chaos. Maybe something simpler. Yeah. Oh, hospitality. Yeah. Okay. And you know, you may even want to look. I don't know if you want to stay in hospitality. You may want to look at something that's maybe similar, but not the exact same area. You know, maybe something where you can still deal with people, but in a more, or I should say, a less chaotic environment. That's a possibility. But if you end up staying in hospitality, maybe a different aspect of hospitality that isn't so, whatever chaos is happening right now in your current position. But I want to give you the nice thing about this horse, though, these horses, and this is north. I feel like there's some kind of ancestral guidance of support behind you in this. So I think when you say, let me tell you what she says, 31. I'm going to tell you what it says here. Okay. Help me, Great Spirit, to learn to honor myself. Let me see the world through the eyes of my inner child, and to recapture the wonder and innocence that can set my heart free. So, okay. And I think for work, I think maybe you can do some, like, I don't know if you've already done this, but some kind of creative exercises to see what makes you happy in a work position for you. I mean, there's, like I'm thinking of The Artist's Way right now by Julia Cameron. I know that's really popular. There's a ton of people out there doing like creativity things where you can like figure out what kinds of, jobs that would fit you. So maybe, be on the lookout for that. No out, no shifts or weekends. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. I hope that helps. If you want another card, I can. Let me see. I can't remember. Let me see if okay. I'm still getting used to this scrolling here. Okay, Merissa, Spirit of the Wheel. But Fiona, let me know if you want more clarification or a different card or whatever, like extra card or something like that. Spirit of the Wheel for Merissa. Is there a card that will help me communicate my creative projects to others more easily? Cool. Let me do that. Okay. Okay, so this is for Merissa. Okay, so for Merissa, ooh, it's nice. These animals are really great. That horse card was great, and here's a nice, beautiful panther. And this is Big Winds Moon, leadership, self-discipline, psychic abilities. Right off the bat, I'd say utilizing your own shamanic gifts, psychic gifts to hunt. Sorry to use that word. It's a little aggressive. To, you know what I mean by hunt, to hunt the kernel essence of what you want to say to people that will reach them. So maybe doing a specific journey for this actual question. But I think Panther being a protective animal, I think maybe you could call on him. And I'm also hearing her, which means, okay, so Freya, I already know this, I have a little extra information because I know you. I'd say she's definitely part of this. So that you could ask on, call on her for help. But I think writing out, maybe they'll, once you call on them in kind of a shamanic way, you could put pen to paper right after that happens and see if anything comes out, like keywords or something. Because I do see a pen to paper with this. Like you actually physically writing. It's not like you have to write a book or something, but just writing out a few things that would kind of encapsulate. I keep hearing words like kernel and encapsulate, like those essence words and images and message, that will really reach out to people. But I see both Freya and possibly a curandera spirit that also works with the puma or jaguar that could help. Maybe Ishel. I think she works with the rabbit, but maybe somebody like that too. You could work with candles also to strengthen and solidify that bond. But I want to read you what she says too, because I want to see what she comes up with for an affirmation. And just so you know, the directions don't have a timing aspect of it. So I couldn't tell Fiona what that was, but these other cards like Big Winds Moon, it's February 19th to March 20th. I guess they give you like a astrological time period. So anyway, so the affirmation for this particular card is, I am ready, Spirit, to share the bounty of my life with others. I call upon the energies of the Big Winds Moon for the courage to be a leader and to use my abilities wisely for the good of the whole. So I think really that message for you is more like calling on this panther and the cats and Freya and these various spirits for this specific question. That's what I'm getting there. And I did see a pen to paper, so you may want to have your pen and paper ready when you do that so that you can follow that up. I hope that helps. Let me know, Merissa, if that, if you need more clarification about that, because I might have missed something. I like people, but they stuck me in the kitchen. Yeah. You don't want to work shifts anymore. Oh, okay, I see. So you're looking for more like a salaried position probably, or something like that. You might want to like look at a different sector, you know what I mean? Like, because it's hospitality, like, I mean, it depends on the environment too. I mean, it could be the company, but if you want to stay, but yeah, if you're in like food services, that tends to be kind of shift related. Like it's kind of hard not to get, if you're in retail or food and beverage and stuff like that, it's kind of hard not to be on a shift schedule in that industry. So if you're looking to get out of that kind of schedule, you might want to look at a different, maybe an administrative, type position that maybe relates to that, because it's kind of hard not to work a shift schedule in that, but it's not impossible. But anyway, okay, office work. Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, that would probably be more stable. I mean, you could still do office work in like a hospitality environment, or, for a company. You could stay within the sector and just do admin work that's, a little less shift based, So that's really interesting and spot on. I like, oh, good. I'm so glad. Okay. I had 15 years out of it. Yeah. Oh, you mean out of business? You got a degree. Well, that's okay. I mean, I know some people say, oh, we're just looking at your most recent experience, but I've seen people on LinkedIn, contact people about a position they had, years ago, because they do a keyword search and, it comes up, so, I mean, I think that if that's something of interest to you, you should pursue that. office work, and maybe look at the hospitality first. If you like hospitality, if you don't like it, obviously, maybe do something with customer interaction, but in a different sector. So, but I see you working with people. So I know you can still have an admin job and work with people. So it's not like impossible. So did anybody have any questions or? I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what's at my Etsy store. I only have one. I have a very small Etsy store right now, but it's growing, of course. But I've had some really wonderful interactions already, and I'm very grateful to all the people who have come to my store. It's called Earth Empath Tarot, and I am the reading that I have right now is a work-based reading, and it uses the combination of the deck we just looked at here, the Spirit of the Will deck, as kind of an animal spirit guide companion piece to your question, which I usually ask of the Voyager, which is a tarot deck. And oh, hello. Yeah, sorry, I can't see who's saying hi, but hello. And but yeah, getting back to the reading, it's currently at $15 right now, but I'm probably going to raise that soon. It's because it includes a component to it, which is a mediumistic channeling kind of component. And but I also will be adding other kinds of layouts or other kinds of readings. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but it will be soon. And so if you want to check that out, you can always look at some of the reviews on the Etsy store. And I think I put the link in the comments. And I just wanted to let you guys know also a couple other things. Basically, I have a Patreon with my sister, Merissa Lovett, and it's called Shamanic Earth Medicine. And we're actually coming up on our 5th year, which is super awesome. And we have a wonderful community over there. And I wanted to let you know a little bit about what we do over there. It's actually pretty varied in terms of different kinds of experiences that you can get. We do video content every month. And there's also ritual work, like a ceremony every month. And there's also an added bonus benefit at certain tier levels where you can get a discount on classes that Merissa teaches, as well as you can get a reading, much like I just did here, from either one of us every month, if you like. That's at the $15 level. The $5 level is mostly for the monthly ceremony, and that's via Zoom. And what's interesting about the ceremony is it's pretty varied. Like, for example, this week, Merissa will be doing a wild hunt ceremony, actually for the dollar per month level. That's a special she's doing this month. And that's exciting because if you know anything about the Nordic cosmology and the Nordic history, there's this thing called the wild hunt at this time of year, and it's a shamanic journey. And it's I don't want to give too much away, but it's really exciting. And so I'm very excited for that. And in November, I will be doing for the ceremony a shamanic journey to the spirit of the deer. And this is her time of year too. I always feel a little more, and I think a lot of people do, in tune with the Nordic or Northern European. Maybe a lot of you are, Wiccan or follow the Celtic, wheel of the year. Maybe you do that all year round, but I think a lot of people tend to get connected more in the August, September, October, November, December, January. It just, I don't know why. Maybe it's because Halloween or something like that. And so, but yes, we'll be doing Shamanic Journey in November. And so she and I alternate with ceremonies. And this is a really great way to not only just experience community, but we experience the trance states of the helping spirits. And so what does that do? Well, I mean, for me, it manifests a lot of things for me in terms of like guidance and direction. Sometimes it'll manifest as healing. Sometimes it'll manifest as verification, like, is this going well for me? Or do I need to be changing something? I mean, there's just a possibility of different things that can happen in ceremony. And of course, the similar things can also happen in coaching work. But this is what I hope, because I also have an interest in weather work and elements and sacred tobacco. Sacred tobacco is probably the thing that I started out with and continue to learn just tons from, because it's just so amazing. And has been a really wonderful connector to a lot of other helping spirits. That I tend to talk about that a lot because there's a lot to the relationship of sacred tobacco. So if you kind of want to know like what the heck that's about, but you're not sure about the Patreon, check out my podcast. And I left the link in the comments. It's at my link tree. And you can check out podcast episodes I'm doing. And one of them is on sacred tobacco. You can also check out my YouTube, which is at my link tree too. And there's sacred tobacco YouTube's there too. So, hello. So do you guys have any more questions? Because I still have time if you'd like. Oh, I don't want to forget. I have another Facebook group, which we're actually coming up on the end of the year, but we're going to keep it going through next year. It's a Nordic Animism discussion group. And if you can find all this at my link tree, which is in the comments. It's a free group. And this is where we meet every month. And like currently we're using the book written by Rune Rasmussen called The Nordic Animist Year. And he basically goes through each month and talks about the different ritual activities and in a historical context. And sometimes he's able to come up with stuff that's still happening today. Mostly he's from Denmark, but he does a lot of research in Sweden and various other areas, in the Scandinavia. So it's a really, and you may know of him already. He's got a YouTube channel and he's a scholar, and so he's got a lot of material out there. But and my goal the whole year with this Nordic Animism group has been to give everybody in the group, and we decide this together, kind of using the book as kind of a guide, and also our own experiences, to figure out what kinds of offerings we can give to the deities, in our own environment. So wherever you live. And that's actually sometimes a trickier thing to do than it sounds. But luckily, there's a lot of times where it's pretty straightforward, and we can just honor the gods pretty simply with household kitchen items like bread or mead or kombucha. And so that's been fun, and I will keep that group going. But I want to put that out there, if you're interested in something like that. And then there's another Facebook group that both me and Merissa moderate. That's a free Facebook group called Animistic Earth Medicine. And that's, basically, you can learn a lot there about traditions, animistic traditions around the globe. And Merissa does a lot of great work there too. So I think I'll wrap it up unless you guys have any other questions. Thank you guys for coming today. It's really wonderful. I wasn't sure. I know this is a tough time for everybody, 12 o'clock, but I really appreciate Fiona and Merissa for asking questions. And I hope you guys enjoyed the meditation. And I hope everyone can have a peaceful, serene, and joyful October. And Nordic wise, there's a thing called the Winter Nights coming up. And of course, I hope everyone has a wonderful Halloween, Dia de los Muertos. Oh, we have somebody. Goddess card. Okay, can you tell me what your name is? And do you have a specific question? Or you just want a goddess card? Oh, it's Fiona. Okay. All right, great. I know. This is so frustrating. It just says I have no idea who it is. Okay, so now I know. All right, Fiona. So weird. This doesn't happen very often. I saw your card before I turned it over, and it was I thought it was I'm going to mispronounce this because I think it's Aine or Aine, leap of faith. And I'm going to go ahead and say that this has to do with, I think you should look outside the hospital. I know you may not have wanted something having to do with your work position, but I went ahead and just kind of assumed that. I think you should look outside the hospitality sector because I think your spirit would be happier. That doesn't mean you don't, I think you need to be around people. But I don't know if you have to be in the hospitality sector to do that. There's plenty of other, sectors you can be in. And the leap of faith thing, since you had something, because I know this because of your other card, you had something come up about inner child. I think maybe there's something, maybe like a belief that you have from your childhood that you need to kind of let go of. Or maybe it's a teenage or young adult belief, like late teens, because that's when we all start, a lot of people start working, 16, 17, 18, 19. And I know I have these, I have to work on some of these things myself. So it could be that you're trying to let go of something because you had that inner child message on the other card with the horses. And this is also kind of like a jump forward, and those horses looked like they were galloping. I see you as trying to move into a better space for yourself. And it might require kind of, I hate to say this, thinking outside the box for what you think that you're supposed to be doing. And that could come back to doing that creative work I mentioned, where if you do some creative exercises, maybe it's art or maybe it's music or dance or something like that, something that makes you happy so that you know how to get in contact with your intuition to find out what would, be a good job for you. I started working at 19 in a hospital. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how old you are now, but I'm assuming, well, you said 15 years ago was so that's enough time. Unless you're married to it and you just can't imagine working in any other industry. I'm seeing you getting into something else, something that makes you happier. So this one says, take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. But in order to find out what your heart's true desire is, you have to do that, creative work you may already know what that is. Maybe you already have some kind of, you're 62. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you've done enough in hospitality. Time to look at something else, maybe, especially for your expression, so I see that as a good thing. Yeah. But this is good. You got the spirits behind you on this. This is not like, oh, I'm just going to take a leap of faith and it's just willy-nilly. I have no idea what's going to happen. I see the spirits as trying to urge you, like they want you to really think about stuff that makes you happy. And like, it might require you thinking outside the box of what you think you're supposed to be doing, based on all the years that you've spent doing this other work. You know what I mean? Exactly. You want to enjoy yourself at work. Exactly. That's, yeah. So yeah, start looking for maybe, besides looking at other industries and stuff like that to see what sparks you, maybe look at some other like creative, if there's stuff online that you like expressing your creativity so that you can like find out what those things are that relate to your occupational or work interests. Okay. Well, I hope that helped. And I think what we'll do is just wrap it up here. And that was great. I really appreciate you guys asking questions. And you got a chance to use almost all the decks this time, which is great. All right. So, thanks, will do. I like the Psychic Tarot. Yeah. That's just the way I, read. So, but, okay, cool. So if you feel like you have some questions or comments or anything, feel free to, message me or go to my link tree, and I'm obviously on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on a lot of places, but I mostly hang out, the two places I hang out the most at are Facebook and Instagram for now, but I'm also on TikTok and YouTube. So yeah. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful fall, and I hope to see you soon. So let me just do a little bit of rattling. Thank you. Blessings to you all.